All right. Cool. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just make sure. All right, cool. Making sure everything's all good. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the life and suffering of Sir Brante. How you doing today? All right. I know we've got at least. Oh, is a Bubba hungry? Ah. All right. I tell you what. I know Josh is gonna be here, so keep him busy, Josh. I'm gonna throw some food in the dogs' bowls. It's a little early for their dinner, but that way they won't interrupt the rest of the stream. All right, hang tight, hang tight, hang tight. It'll be just a couple seconds. Keep them busy. Keep them busy. I'm counting on you. Get the food. Got the food. Let the food in the bowl. Ah, the boy. Ah. I must cover myself. Who's here? Who's in? Anne of Narnia, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I said, don't worry. Yeah. I was just feeding the pups. Feeding the pups. Throwing some food in the gooser's bowl. And also covering my chest because I realized I am currently wearing the infamous t-shirt that has been banned from YouTube. And I don't want to get banned from YouTube, so I am not going to show it on film. But if you want to see it, just go over to my Rumble page, which you could search 1 out of 1 or Steve, and it'll pull right up. Anyways, hi, how you doing? Let's get some music playing here. There we go. All right. The life and suffering of Sir Brante. Everything looks good, sounds good. Has the music volume ratio. Sounding good, and you're pretty good at figuring that out. While you're responding to that, there we go. Okay. All right, is volume good? Volume looking good, sounding good, everything seem fair. If anything, it's a tad soft, but not bad. Okay. All right, we can live with that. All right, so here we are. Josh is supposed to be here somewhere. He's not tuned in as of yet, but that's okay. All right, so here we go. Last we left off, everything went to crap. As per usual on this channel. Alright. Oh, and quick reminder before I get going. YouTube, other than this stream, this is the last thing for now. This will be the last thing that's dedicated to this. All other efforts going to Rumble, okay? I just had a massive spike in viewership. I gained like 1,000 views overnight, which doubled my viewership on my Rumble page. Had a big spike when SCP Daybreak shot off. Nothing this big. So go to Rumble. Rumble's the place to check out and get exclusive content that you will not get anywhere else. Anne of Narnia, the part where I was screaming in Iago's voice. Yeah, well, I mean, even if you don't have an account over there, you can still watch for free. But yes. Anyways, back to this. Let's see. Let me actually recap what's happened recently. Let's take a look at the relationships. And remember, y'all are driving the story, so if you want to see this, if you want to see anything about the house or the family, the map or the province, if you want to see any of those stats, all you got to do is let me know. Okay? Alright, so relations over here. For Tomas, we've got a really good relationship with Tomas. With Sophia, she's a little indifferent to us. Augustin Oborn, he's got a little bit of indifference, still positive, but indifferent. Octavia remembers us. Depending on what choices are made, that could be a big deal. Janae is completely indifferent. Let's see. Family. Let's see. Let's go start with Grandpa. Grandpa, we're not... Yo, Josh! Took you frickin' long enough. Jeez, man. Golly. Been waiting just been stalling this whole time, just waiting for you. I was acting like I'm doing something important. Oh, let me look through all these things because I don't remember where we left off. Oh, I remember every single decision made. I was just waiting for you. That's exactly what was happening. I tease. Hi. It's good to have you here. I need viewers. Thank you. Alright, anyways. We're reviewing a couple of relationships before we get going. So, Gregor, pretty indifferent to us. Doesn't really feel one way or another about us. Our dad, Robert, lot of positivity there. Mostly positive with Mom. Sister Gloria, half-sister Gloria, we've got a very good relationship as well. Nathan, our full brother, a halfway sympathy. Mostly good relationship. Of course, Stefan, about down the road even. We've had a lot of crap happen. Our household, we've still got moderate amount of wealth and position, but there's a lot of disagreements in the family. Which is going to bring us to where we are now. The nobleman's lot. A great day looms ahead. Excuse me. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the empire. Blessed by the twins themselves, the emperor's reign. Hang on. I'm going to move my face out of the way. Hang on, we're going to lose the volume for a second. There we go. Yeah, move my face out of the way. 100 years ago, Uther Tempest was anointed to rule over the empire, blessed by the twins themselves. The emperor's reign continues into its 2nd century. Celebrations in honor of the Tempest dynasty are held throughout the city, and the school is closed for 2 weeks because of that. One of these evenings, Father tells everyone that Grandfather is going to bring Stefan back home for the holiday. They say families should celebrate the day of anointment together. You can benefit from your elder brother's company. With his noble education, Stefan might be able to teach you how a nobleman is supposed to act. Soon, Stefan arrives. He now handles himself differently. When it comes to ordering servants around and ignoring Gloria, he's still Grandfather's double, but he's more grown up now and far less haughty to you. It's a dark winter evening. A damp, cold wind sweeps through the city from the barren lands of Magra. You and Stefan are sitting in the library. He is telling you about Eterna, the capital of the Empire. It is full of so many wonders. The Imperial Palace, enormous Temple of the Twins, the Military Academy, the Imperial College. You've read so much about these places. Yet, he has seen them firsthand. Nathan enters the library. He looks concerned. Hang on. Wait. We're gonna do Nathan. We gotta do it right. Oh, I can't find Gloria. I looked everywhere. She's not in the attic, not in the sitting room, not in the kitchen. I heard she wanted to sneak off to the ruins of Charmander's place. She could get lost in there. You and Stefan exchange looks. Charmalandius, the rebellious duke, the ruins of his palace are a dangerous place. Some children claim his tainted magic still lingers in there, which means you absolutely have to make your way there and back to prove you're not afraid of the long-dead witch. Your brother tells you to wait. He leaves and soon returns with his sword and sheath. Get ready, other ones! We're going to rescue Gloria! She must have come out to the river in search of inspiration for another one of her little rhymes. The two of you instruct Nathan to tell your parents you've gone for a walk in the square. You and your elder brother head outside. You are confused by Stefan's actions. He refuses to treat Gloria like a human being. So, why is he still so determined to rescue her? Stefan notices your expression. Are you wondering why I care all of a sudden? I can't act in any other way, can I? The law of honor compels me to protect my family. Gloria will never be a Brante. My father still took her into our house. I must respect his seniority and defend Gloria like she's one of our own. You are a Brante too, noble or not, which means it is my duty to protect you. The ruins of Jarmelanda's palace span an entire district. The palace was abandoned centuries ago, and its remnants are overgrown with thick underbrush. The ruined palace is empty, nothing but cold wind blowing over crumbling brickwork. Even the worst of scum of the land steer clear of this place. You make your way through the ruins until you spot scattered sheets of paper covered in writing. Your sister's writing. You hear loud laughter coming from behind a dilapidated stone wall nearby. You pull yourself up to peer over it. Gloria is lying on the ground, face down, twitching and sobbing. A gaggle of drunk young thugs surround her, cackling and swinging their arms about. You hear their shouts. Look at the lass sitting here rhyming words together. She thinks it's noble. Don't you worry, low-born tart. Tart. What a ridiculous, what a ridiculous, Caldy! Everybody, it's Caldy! Welcome, Caldy! We're about to get into some action. You ready to rock? Caldy's my #1 fan, just so you guys know. This is a long-established fact. Alright. Don't you worry, you low-born tart, which is just a hilarious insult to call somebody. We're gonna teach you your place. One of the louts spits at Gloria as she lies there. Get away from her this instant, or I will spew your guts! They respond with mocking laughter. Stefan draws his sword. The thugs recoil in fear, but they soon notice that he's only one armed man against many. They start reaching out for sticks and stones. Stay by my side! Don't let them flank me! Stefan's hand shakes, but he looks ready for battle. He is outnumbered for a moment. Ooh, and you guys can do everything. Alright. The young thugs are ready and armed with makeshift weapons. They start approaching you and Stefan cautiously. Alright, friends. There's at least 3 of you in the chat, so let's go. Are you gonna charge the attackers head on? Are you gonna follow your brother's orders, which you can do, because you and Stefan don't have bad blood, and you have plenty of willpower? Or are you gonna call the guards? Which shall you do? I have done 2 of these decisions. I have not called for the guards. I have followed brother's orders and charged. But I'm interested to see what y'all are gonna do. Any choices? Any choices? I wish I could do a split screen. Yeah, because I don't want to keep getting rid of the, Josh says I don't give a crap about Stefan. Feel like I want to use willpower on that. All right, so we've got to vote for calling the guards. What is it? We've got charge. Oh, okay, never mind. All right, if nobody else disagrees, then we're gonna call on the guards. Going once. Going twice. All right, I guess we're stepping into some new territory for this channel. We are going to call the guards. I'm interested to see what happens here. The louts try to flank Stefan and surround him. Your brother's sword thrusts and feints melodically. Or melodically. Melodically. Which honestly, Stefan is probably already doing. The thugs keep dodging and jumping away. They've managed to stay safe so far. If things continue like this, soon one of them will flank Stefan, kick the sword out of his hand, and bring him down. The ruffians are paying no attention to you, however. Stefan slashes with his sword, one of the young men falls, the others rush to your brother. You get Gloria back on her feet and she stares at you in astonishment. It's time to find the guards. You find the guards, dressed in the Archduke's colors, patrolling the nearby district. You tell them that a gang of lowborn thugs have assaulted a young nobleman. Good wording. But when you make your way back, the lout's bodies are already fading away. Stefan is on his feet, his sword sinking, and the last foe left standing. He smiles at you faintly, then his eyes roll back into his head and he collapses. The guards help you bring Stefan back home. Grandfather sends for the doctor the moment he sees that his favorite grandson is unconscious. The doctor, which, if you had done either of the other two choices, then you would have been knocked unconscious, and you would be the one waking up. The doctor quickly brings Stefan back to his senses and bandages the injuries on his left arm. Sir Gregor never leaves Stefan's side. Anne of Narnia, I know you've played this before. Have you made this decision before?
You acted like a true nobleman, Stefan. You fought for the family honor, even though you needn't have risked your life for that freeloading wench. The burden of a noble is a tough one to bear. We must obey our lot so that the lowly estate may toil for theirs. But when the low-born scum grows insolent, we must be there to put them in their place. Now, I fully believe, thanks to you, that a Brante name will be written in the blue book, my boy! Your deeds remembered forever in our family's blood tide. All of us will be there, you, your father, all of us. Words cannot express how proud I am of you.
Ooh, no change. You leave your brother's side without a word. Grandfather will never recognize you as Stefan's equal and father's true heir. He will never treat you as part of the family. He thinks you will not add a single worthy deed to the family's blood tide. You, Nathan, Mother, he acts like all of you are unworthy to even bear the Brante name. Had you acted differently that night, would Grandfather be proud of you? Who knows?
I do, 'cause I did both of them.
But you gained an ingenuity. So very good. And you didn't use up any willpower. That was very interesting. I had not seen that one before. Before long, the entire city hears how a gang of lowborn thugs assaulted Stefan Brante. Hang on. Sorry. There we go. Okay. Nope. No, never mind. That's fine. Alright, gang of thugs, where was I? Assault Stefan Brante. Grandfather ensures the brash young men are found. Some of them are taken into custody as soon as lesser death releases them. Grandfather seeks vengeance on those who hurt his favorite grandson. Prefect Elborn, a friend of your family, promises to personally oversee the trial and ensure the justice is served. Stefan and Grandfather decide to stay in Anazote until the trial ends. Grandfather demands true death for every single assailant. Your father asks you to explain something. How can a legal court sentence criminals to true death? How can worldly judgment overrule the twins' law? Your words are true, my son. Their law is second to none. Yet the twin gods also made the empire and its ways. The court of law exists to execute the laws of heaven here in the world. Should the court of law sentence a person to death, the law high above will always enforce it, and every execution brings true death. The commoners who assaulted Stefan, a born nobleman, have committed a grave offense. There is no doubt about that. And yet, according to the Emperor's decree, even commoners have the right to defend themselves when they are about to face true death. This means that all of us will have to appear at the trial and testify before the court. Evening comes and Gloria visits your room. She looks crestfallen. Her fingers keep reaching for her long hair. You put away your school books and ask what's bothering her. Goodbye, vocal cords.
The trial is tomorrow. was going to appear there too as an eyewitness. After all, this whole mess started because of me. Sir Robert isn't even going to mention I was there. Can you imagine? He says it would ruin the case, like, as if. Why am I always in the way? Nobody ever mentions me, nobody has ever listened to me. It's like I don't even exist. And I thought Stefan standing up for me finally meant something. Maybe I will become a part of the family. But no, everything is back to usual now.
Gloria tries her best to hold back tears. You do your best to comfort her. Father just needs to keep the family out of trouble.
If Sir Robert believes I'm only bringing trouble, why did he took me into the house at all?
Probably because you say things like, why did he took me? Gloria runs away. You return to your books, but you can't help but get lost in thought. What if they told the court you weren't there either? How would you feel then? Whoops. There's a knock at the door. It's Father. He closes the door behind him and sits next to you. There's an exhausted look on him. Son, you'll be testifying before the court tomorrow. Please remember what I'm about to tell you. Gloria wasn't at the ruins at all. You went there with your brother to inspect this historic site. The low-born men insulted Stefan first, and then attacked him. Stefan had managed to deal with the assailants on his own by the time the guards intervened. Gloria will cast suspicion on the case. If we mention her very existence to the court, the reputation of the family will suffer. Your grandfather will never forgive me if that happens. Don't let me down. We're counting on you. You recall the night of the fight like it was a moment ago. Gloria sprawled under the feet of those cackling thugs, her poetry, her greatest treasure, scattered on the ground. She thinks she's a noble. Those were the words they spat down at her. But doesn't grandfather mean the same thing when he denies that she's a part of the family? And it's decision time! But if you do what father tells you, the trial will end. Oh, and you can do everything, because you got willpower. The trial will end quickly. The commoners will face true death for assaulting a noble. If you mention Gloria, things will get complicated, and you cannot predict how the trial will end. Which is more important to you? What is right, or what is just? Will you support father and do what he says? Will you lie to father, but you'll tell the truth that Gloria was there later on? Or are you going to convince him to change his mind? Which shall it be? I'm gonna lie. Does it lie? Agree with him? Or we're gonna convince? How much willpower do you have? Let me take a look for you. Let's see. You have 20 willpower. You are stocked up on willpower. And willpower decisions usually use about 5 willpower. So that would take you down to 15. You would still be able to do most everything. Aha! We have a vote for convince. Alright, we have 1 vote. Do we have a second vote? Any dissenting opinions? What shall it be? Anne of Narnia, Calvi? Anyone else? Give you a couple more seconds. Going once. Josh says, I'm wondering if the reputation with Gloria will go down if we support father. Interesting. Interesting thought. I have only done 1 of these. Ooh, we have a dissenting opinion. Agree with father. Interesting. Ooh. Alright, so we're definitely not lying to him. So we can count that one out. Interesting. Anyone else? I see there's 2 other people who are in the stream right now. Either of you have a vote? Okay, so Josh also wants to gain... wants to gain reputation with Gregor. So, does that mean you are able to be swayed to agreeing with Father? This is getting very interesting. Alright, I will say that the only decision that I have made is, if I remember correctly, is... No, wait, I have supported Father before. The only thing I've not done is lie. Anybody willing to be swayed, one way or another? Okay. So Josh is also probably happy to convince Father. Okay. So kind of like a 50-50? Alright, I'm going to take that as a potential... a prefer to convince, but also support. If that is good, if there's no other discussion, then I'm probably going to go ahead and say... Alright. So Josh is dead set on convince. Anne of Narnia says, I really have no clue what happens. Okay. Alright, so Anne of Narnia, I'm guessing you're the other person that voted. Are you dead set on agree with Father? Okay. If we're... Let me roll it. Alright, so if we have no... Okay, so vote has been changed to convince. Very well. Convincing. Okay. Okay, alright. I clicked convince, so we're going with it. Alright, ready? My bad if it's not what y'all wanted, but oh well. You look Father straight in the eye and tell him what you think. You are not going to bear false witness in court. He is a judge himself. How can he make you lie to Sir Elborn? And what of Gloria? Is she not a Brante too? Does she not deserve justice? Or maybe Grandfather's right. Is she just a freeloader who deserves nothing but shame? If so, how come Father agreed to take her into his home under his protection? Saying this to Father is tough. Deep inside, you pray he hears no weakness in your voice and sees no blood rushing to your cheeks. But it seems he is listening to you intensely. The wrinkles on his forehead grow deeper and his fingers stammer out. I don't know that word. I'm a dummy who doesn't know words. But it's okay. Seems he is listening to you Okay, yeah. Anyways. This is going to be tough. But you're right. You are right. I took Gloria into my home, and so I must protect her like my own daughter. This was my decision. And I must stand by it. I will speak with Stefan in the morning. Staccato? I think you're lying to me. Alright, now I pray your grandfather never hears of my change of heart. The day comes, the trial takes place in the lesser hall. You look it up? Oh, you think I'm lying? You think I'm you want to say that you're telling the truth? All right, fine. I'll look it up right now. Yeah, staccato. Yeah, search. The only search result that pulls up is Josh is a lying liarson. So there you go. Google never lies. All right, let's move on. The trial takes place in the lesser hall of the city prefecture. Sir Elborn himself presides as judge. You are the first to testify in court. You tell the court the truth about that night, how the thugs humiliated Gloria, how Stefan and you came to help her, and how Stefan defended his half-sister. Out of the corner of your eye, you watch Grandfather's face grow red. He remains silent. There are confused whispers in the hall. The commoners of the trial cry out. Is this the truth? Gloria was reciting poetry, and they simply told her she was defying her lot? The situation has changed. By this account, Stefan was not acting in defense of himself or another. He merely assaulted them first in order to retaliate against those who had insulted his half-sister. Spread your feet and stand firm and inhale before you speak next. You ask the hall, is it not a nobleman's duty to honor his family name? Gloria does not have a Brante name, but your father took her into his home. Therefore, it was Stefan's duty to protect her, as he would have protected any of you. Contemptuous chuckles rise through the courtroom. You have just reminded the city of your father's shameful second marriage. Stefan is next to testify. He reluctantly confirms your testimony, glancing at father and grandfather all the while. His arm in the sling is his main argument. Stefan wanted the commoners to stop insulting Gloria, yet the commoners were the first to assault him. After a short recess, Sir Elborn returns and rises to deliver his sentence. The court of Anazote finds you guilty of assaulting Stefan El Brante, a nobleman who stood in defense of the honor of Gloria, a member of his household. All of 4 defendants are sentenced to true death by hanging. There is no wind, but you feel a gust sweep through the hall. The defendants turn pale, their mothers are bawling and crying. Everyone in the court feels the dreadful power of the law and is stern and just. Thank Hod? Thank Hod? Who the heck is Hod? Have you learned? Did you learn something down in Sydney that I don't know about? Everyone in the court feels a dreadful power. And Josh says it looks like it was going to backfire. Yeah, I know it did. I know it did. But I mean, you and I, we're both those radicals who fight the corrupt system. Like that's just what we do. So naturally, you and I are going to choose that. The very power has been invoked by this sentence, and the very sentence, the lives of 4 young men are literally forfeit for all eternity. The gallows await. Stefan stands in the front row. Father stands next to him. The wood creaks. The trapdoors open under the young men's feet. They dangle in the air, wheezing and reaching out for support with their feet in their final moments. Now, this is a horrible, horrible way to go. I mean, the best, I don't want to say the best way to get hanged, but like the way to get hanged that's supposed to be a lot faster is a longer drop. I like, not just like it gives out and you're strangled to death. It's like a snap. This is a cruel, cruel, slower way to be hanged and to die. Grandfather's silence ends at home. He screams at you and Father and Stefan and Gloria. This trial's a disgrace, he screams. Yeah. His screams are punctuated by the thudding of his walking stick against the floor. Father said they had to defend their family. It would have truly been a disgrace if they had shirked their responsibilities. Excuse me. Stefan excuses himself to bandage his arm in order to stay out of the argument. Gloria is quiet but glowing. You stay quiet too. It's all over now. Ooh, he do not like you. He does not like you at all. It's all over now. Nobody bullies Gloria on the streets anymore. Those 4 commoners are dead forever. Their families were taught a cruel lesson. So it will be with anyone who dares to raise a hand against a nobleman. Alright, reputation has gone down, but even with Sir Gregor's anger, there's more unity in the home. You've also gained some nobility. You've gained some spirituality, which has moved you into the soulful category. You have lost some willpower, though. All right, things are not looking half bad. Good choices, good choices. Ah, an adult. Oh, I love this section. Oh, this is a good segment. Oh, I love this. The day is sunny, scorching, and hot. This is also my favorite soundtrack from the whole Brante. Anyways, this is my favorite track from the Brante soundtrack. Day is sunny and scorching and hot. You are sitting in the yard in the shade of a tree, studying the books about the twins' great descent. You hear shy, quiet steps. There's no need to look back. You know the sound of it is Nathan. Your younger brother also sits in the shade of the tree, yet he's quiet. He's not tugging at your clothes this time, which is unusual. He is sitting by your side, breathing loudly. Oh, goodness. You tear yourself away from the book and look at your brother. Nathan is deep in thought. He seems uneasy. He's fidgeting with the symbol of the twins, a cross inside a circle, the lash bound around the sword. It is Nathan's pendant. He wears it all the time, but not today. The silence wears on. Nathan takes a deep breath. Like he's about to speak, but he does not. His face grows even grimmer. He looks unusually hurt and bitter. At last, Nathan gathers his courage. He takes another deep breath, his eyes narrow. His hand clutches at the encircled cross. Tell me, other ones, the twins, they hate me, don't they? Nathan's voice is quiet yet firm. The words fall silent around you. Not even a gust of wind can be heard. It's as if everything is waiting for your answer. You look at your brother again, confused. Nathan, the youngest brother, the most unassuming child, is quiet, obedient, and thoughtful. He has been your responsibility almost since birth. Yet he's never been a burden. Father was always around, aloof around him, and Mother was too tired to even smile. Even Grandfather seems to avoid Nathan with his scorn. He just treated your little brother like a piece of trash. Never called him by name, and always winced at the sight of him, perhaps because he looks so much like Mother. But is it true the twin gods had no love for your little brother? Surely the twins have enough even for little Nathan, don't they? Nathan was born a commoner, like you. His lot is suffering. Everyone is tested by the twins before their true death. No one can expect mercy along their path. He was born the youngest child in your family. That is his trial. Should Nathan persevere and bear the burden of what he's dealt, he shall yet reach the peak of the pillar when his time runs out. There's hope in Nathan's eyes as he looks at you. Guiding others in this matter of faith is the clergy's lot. You're no priest, yet you can't stay quiet. You see his pain and his trepidation, and so you will tell him what you think. What you are about to say might be a turning point in his life. So, shall you dispel Nathan's fears and say that the twins are love for all that exists, or are you going to confirm them and say that your brother's right? The twins are stern and ruthless. Which shall it be? Confirm and say, yeah, they hate you, they hate all commoners, and they're just stern and angry? Or are you going to dispel and say, their ways are different, but they love? This'll say a lot about how you guys view the twin gods. Do you think that the twin gods... why would you dispel his fears? What do you mean by that? Oh, why would you not dispel his fears? Is that what you're asking? That's what I figured. Alright, so Josh obviously wants to dispel Nathan's fears. Anne of Narnia, do you have a different opinion? Caldi, are you here? Anybody have anything else to voice? Alright, so we're going to dispel his fears and say that the twins are love for all that exists. I played through one time, agreeing with him, and it broke my freaking heart. It's so sad. You tell your brother that the twins are more than just law and will. They're also love. Josh says, I'm thinking what is going to help Nathan rather than what I think about the gods. Ooh! So in your perspective, you're lying to Nathan. Interesting. Alright, you tell that it's more than just law and will, they're also love. So writes Isatias, the disciple of the elder, also says Mother. And both you and him were brought into this world through their providence. It's true their love is quite unlike the love that humans have for one another. They can't forgive others unconditionally like a mother or father would. Your parents love you no matter what, but they are unlike them, and yet the twins bear no hatred. They descended to our world and granted us knowledge of how to live, and that is a great treasure indeed. The twins put us all to the test with the hardships they send. They will watch how we follow our lots, and if Nathan suffers and feels no love from them, And that means they believe in him and know he will endure his suffering. They know he will humbly accept it and let it pass through him, let it purify him. That is the manifestation of their love. Nathan hangs on your every word. The despair fades from his face. He is smiling. He puts the chain with the encircled cross back around his neck and hugs you gratefully. So they do love me. Thank you. You've helped me hold on to my faith. You hug Nathan back and hear him sniffle on your shoulder. He will remember this little talk for years to come. Or until he finishes the brownies in the other room, whichever comes first. And you've gained another spirituality. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. All right, we're moving our way through the adolescent years. Not too far away. You see, I had to make him a pothead. There's no other way to play the Nathan character, and you'll understand later on. I totally guessed that Nathan was a pothead, and I was 100% right when we get to adulthood. But you'll see that. Stefan leaves soon after the trial, alone. Grandfather does not go with him. For the first time in a long while, he lingers in the house for more than a fortnight. Father says Sir Gregor is ill and needs some rest. Several months go by, and it becomes clear that Grandfather will not recover. Can't wait to see it fulfilled. It's sad. It's sad, but it's hilarious that I called it. The eldest Brante is mostly bedridden now. On some days, he has trouble recognizing people. When he means to address you or Nathan, he calls you Robert, your father's name. But when he does get out of bed, the house grows empty. Servants hide, a mother locks herself in her chambers, and you and Nathan run outside or hide quietly in your rooms. If Grandfather sees anyone in the hallway, he begins lamenting. Oh, nobody heeds the lots anymore. Any harlot with a child can marry a nobleman these days. Yay, Gregor is gonna kick the bucket. I wouldn't get too excited right away. Children have no respect. His son betrayed him and let him down. And oh, how the Brante family has lost its honor. Again and again you hear Grandfather knocking at Mother's door, screaming it's her fault. He blames her for ruining his chances to find bliss in the hereafter. He blames her for dooming him to suffer at the foot of the pillar. You overhear your parents talking one night. Mother begs Father to move Sir Gregor to his old home and spare the children his decline. Father refuses outright. You remember this part, yeah. Yeah. It's late that night. The hot, dry winds are coming. The house is empty, save for you, Nathan, Gloria, Mother, and Grandfather in his bed. Father has left, where was I? Father has left for the capital on business. You are engrossed in the history of the Empire, snapping out of your reverie only when the clock strikes midnight. You blow out the candle and get ready for bed. You hear the shuffling of heavy feet outside your door. You see the light in the hallway. Grandfather? What could he want in the middle of the night? Peek into the hallway once he has passed. Grandfather's figure sways as he heads for the door to Mother's chambers. He opens the door and walks in. You hear him saying something quietly. Your unease is stronger than your fear now. You sneak closer to hear his words.
You foul commoner. I have to cleanse my sins. I have to save my soul. You are my greatest sin. You and what you have done to Robert and this family. I should have put a stop to this marriage. I should have stopped Robert from tainting this house by your presence. Oh, why didn't I do it?
Please, Sir Brante, I beg of you,
Silence! You will do my bidding. Fire will cleanse all low-born filth from this place. Fire and flame will free Robert from his disgrace. For my son's sake, For my son's sake, for my sake, I need to eradicate this low-born filth. The twins, they are calling me now. I can feel it. I feel it.
I beg of you, please, have mercy. Mother begins to cry. You run into the room, unable. The second favorite of the musical tracks from the playlist. You run into the room, unable to stay out of this any longer. Grandfather's gaunt figure looms over Mother's bed, an oil lamp in his hand. Mother is sprawled out on the bed, crying, "Please, please, let me warn the children. I beg of you, Sir Brante." Your steps are loud enough to be heard. Grandfather turns to look at you.
Stay out of this, other ones.
Well, he's talking to you guys directly.
Be useful for once. Worldly matters concern me no longer. I see only my sins now. A sinner I am. A sinner. The twins, they forgive me. No, they forgive no one. They will judge me by the pillar. I must do something. I don't want to suffer for all eternity. Go away.
Mother is crying. Grandfather is still looming over your bed. Driven to madness, his hand shakes as it clutches the oil lamp. His eyes shine in the dark. He truly believes that this has to be done. You are suddenly torn. What is right? What if the only way for his soul to find? What if this is the only way for his soul to find salvation? There's no going back now. You have but a moment to act. So, you got three choices. Are you going to run away and rescue Nathan and Gloria? Are you going to stop Grandfather? Or are you going to let it happen as Grandfather wishes? I need more water, so you guys discuss among yourselves what is going to happen. Is he going to burn down the house or kill the mum directly? Good question. Doesn't look like I'm gonna tell you. So all you know is he is violent, intense, and he's got a lamp in his hand, and that's all you know. I'm gonna fill up my water. You guys discuss amongst yourselves and see if you can come to a consensus before I get back.
What up, Greyhound?
All right. There we go. Got the shirt covered. All right. Josh votes to stop. All right, and Anne of Narnia votes to stop. All right, so we are using some willpower, and we are going to stop Grandfather. Good choice. That is definitely the best. The best choices usually require willpower, but yeah. You look at Grandfather defiantly and step towards him. He stares you down with rage and throws the oil lamp at the floor. You manage to catch it, but just barely. Several drops of hot oil hit the rug, not nearly enough to start a fire. The lamp's glass is blistering hot. It burns your hands, but you still hold onto it safely.
You low-born scum! You've ruined everything. Every bit like your mother. You.
Enraged, he takes a swing at you, and you squeeze your eyes shut, but he does not hit you. Instead, there's a deep exultation. You peek at him with one eye just in time to see him collapse, all his strength fading away, his chest heaving and his face in a grimace of contempt. Another heavy exultation. The contempt is gone. There is only fear now. Grandfather's eyes have opened wide, almost in surprise. He exhales. His eyes grow dim. Mother is there, whispering a prayer. She is shaking violently. You put the oil lamp gently on the bedside of the table and call for the servants. They carry the body away. It doesn't disappear. True death has found him. He will never return. You spend the rest of that night with Mother in the sitting room. She will not let go of your hand. For many nights afterwards, she keeps seeing Grandfather's shadow out of the corner of her eye. Anne of Narnia goes from woohoo to, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't celebrate as he dies. Father returns from Eterna the morning after. He's unusually composed as he arranges for the funeral. The house becomes quiet. Not the looming, heavy, soft sort of quiet of the past few months, but the calm relief you all feel now that the crazed old man is no more. Go settle, Atomic. At last, Gregor Brante, the family's patriarch, has departed for the hereafter. He has met true death, and you have ended on a very low note with him. You have lost some willpower, but you have gained some ingenuity, and you have gained some nobility. And we still got a little bit left of adolescence. So there's a chance for you guys to move up the ranks a little bit in some of these areas. The night of grandfather's death shook your family to the core. Yet no matter how it happened, your grandfather, Gregor Brante, is dead and will never return. He was a fearful shadow looming over the rest of your family, the Brante patriarch exerting his influence on all the lives below him, and all of you will remember him forever. Father is the new patriarch of the family now, yet he still cannot bring himself to sit at the head of the table where Sir Gregor used to preside. Stefan locks himself away in grandfather's bedroom every day. He will not talk to anyone. Gloria and Nathan still jump at every sound that so much as resembles the knocking of his walking stick. Mother spends all her day in prayer at the temple. And yet, the house has become calm and quiet with his passing. But there's one more thing that needs to be done. The final farewell. It weighs heavily upon your soul. The day comes for you to pay your final respects. Father goes to the tomb alone, save for Stefan and Nathan, and your mother and Gloria stay at home. Only nobles, or those who may become nobles, may join this ritual. Your grandfather built this crypt, and now he will be the first Brante to remain here in body forever. First ever noble in our family. It is our duty now to hold the sacrament of flowing blood for Sir Gregor. We will honor his legacy and join him as the founder of the noble Brante dynasty. Stefan perks up at Father's words. His hands still clutch a grandfather's sword. Tradition decrees that it must remain in the niche above the owner's sarcophagus. Excuse me. Stairs carved of white stone lead you downward. Deep in the gloom of the crypt, atop a pedestal, you see a sarcophagus that holds grandfather's body. Father takes a moment to compose himself before paying his final respects. Gregor Brante, my father, brought our family into nobility through his unshakable will. He was a judge and a loyal servant to the Empire. He lived his life as if it had been born a noble, and he has never strayed from the path he has chosen. He sought to make the Brante family ennobled by the sword so that our children's children might be of noble birth. The twins know I abide by my father's word all my life, even if I could not obey him every time. Father lets out a bitter chuckle as he says this. Stefan glares at Father, then turns to glare at Nathan and you. After all, the two of you were born into Father's shameful decision to marry a commoner. All of you remember his disastrous passing. He did not die a true death he deserved. Yet we all must know that he fought for the future he believed in, to the very end. And he would be proud to see the family bid him farewell with this sacrament of nobility. Stefan still glares at Father sullenly. His fingers remain clutched around grandfather's sword. Nathan barely pays attention to the words. He looks around with unease, his arms folded across his chest. Father reaches into his jacket and pulls out a slender dagger, thin and sharp. He takes off his gloves. Watch me carefully, boys. Make a small cut on the palm of your hand and let your blood flow into the duct on the wall of the crypt. It will join your grandfather's blood here and flow forever. The ancestor and progeny will become as one. We shall enter our family's blood tide and receive grandfather's final blessing, for his blood flows first in our blood tide. He will respond to you, you're a part of him, and he is a part of you. With a quick motion, Father slices his hand. Don't dig it in! Little! Something that'll actually heal? Jeez, dude's gonna slice all of his tendons off. He hands the dagger to Stefan. Stefan cuts his hand without hesitation and does as father did. You receive the dagger next. The dagger's handle feels warm. You hesitate for a moment as you look at the palm of your hand. If you participate in this ritual, you will enter the Brante blood tide. You, a lowborn, a child who is still a commoner. Are you ready to claim your legacy as the descendant of the nobleman Gregor Brante? Oh, we are stuck. The eyes of your father and brother are upon you. Nathan, the youngest brother, will follow in your example. You can be certain of this. Alright, the only thing that can be done is to give the dagger back. You are unable to bleed because you did not take the nobleman's sacrament trying to kiss the sword, and you cannot ask for grandfather's blessing because your nobility is far too low. You need a 6 or greater, and you only have a 3. Or you needed to have at least a 2. Yeah, so yeah, neither of these could have been done. So I've done the bleeding before. I've not asked for grandfather's blessing because like it hurts too much to be mean to Gloria. So we're gonna give the dagger back because it's the only thing that can be done. You return the dagger to father and say that you cannot participate in this ritual. You're a commoner, and your back bears the mark of the lash. Grandfather would never have let you honor his name as a nobleman. Nathan nods in agreement. You do not deserve this honor. Father furrows his brow and shakes his head. Stefan, help me close the lid of the sarcophagus, and remember to ask grandfather for his blessing. As for you two, it seems you weren't ready to walk the nobleman's path after all. You're right, son. Your grandfather would have never allowed it. The lid of the sarcophagus falls into place with a heavy, resounding thud. Then suddenly you all freeze as each of you hears the late grandfather speak to you. His voice is loud, and it rings in the depths of the crypt, and yet it speaks to each of you separately.
Foul-blood weaklings. I knew you never had it in you to rise above your meager birth, other ones. There's not a drop of nobility in you. And your pathetic little brother is the same. Your taint upon my flesh and blood, begone from the crypt.
Your legs carry out of the crypt of their own accord. Out of the stuffy crypt. You can finally breathe again. You hear the footsteps behind you. You turn around and meet Nathan's gaze.
Yeah, you did the right thing. If it weren't for you, I'd have done what Father told us. Grandfather said I should stay away from his legacy. Said it'd do me no good if I tried to follow in his, footsteps. How's that for word of guidance, eh?
Nathan sighs as he embraces you.
Well,
Father and Stefan leave the crypt much later and walk to the carriage without a word. You and Nathan humbly follow behind them. And we've lost a little relationship with Robert. Gained one with Nathan. And you've gained some willpower back. So, it hurts. And it sucks. But sometimes it is what it is. The Fugitive Girl. Ooh, this'll be an interesting one. Grandfather's passing and last respects have left a mark on the entire family. His words relayed from the hereafter keep echoing in your mind. You still do your best to avoid the memory of grandfather's last night and spend more of your time in the city streets with Tomas and your other classmates. The road by the house reminds you of another clash with death. Sometimes as you walk along that road, you recall Sophia, the beautiful girl with wonderful eyes and terrifying, thundering hooves. Oh yeah, this is gonna be fun. You have not seen Sophia since that fateful day. The children who live nearby say her parents sent her to a rich Arcanian family, the Ottens, as a servant. The sun has set, the pillar shines palely in the dark sky. Tomas is ill, so you decide to visit him and tell him the latest news. The streets seem oddly agitated tonight, full of horses, cloaked men, strange faces, and hushed voices. A young nobleman in a heavy embroidered cloak is walking back and forth, clutching at his sword nervously. There's a grimace of rage in his delicate blue face. He is an Arcanian. You overhear voices. Sir Autumn, the girl is not home. We've searched the house. Her parents swear she ran away from home too. They claim they claim they wanted to bring her back.
Just do whatever it takes. Turn this loathsome district upside down if you must, but bring my servant back to me.
She is here. Sophia ran away from an Arcanian? How could this be? There's only one place in the entire street where a person could hide, the abandoned Moral House, 4 houses away from yours. You head there doing your best not to attract attention. The lopsided house, built of yellow bricks, has been abandoned for 20 years or so. You remember playing there as a boy. You glimpse a figure inside even before you enter. A pair of eyes glimmer in the dark. You would recognize them even after another 4 years. Sophia's grown up. She is almost an adult now, and her face is full of fear. She is not the easygoing girl next door you remember. She finally recognizes you.
Oh, it's you other ones. Be quiet, they're looking for me. I ran away from the younger Auden. I might be in for a lesser death here, but I'd rather die than spend another day in slavery. I'm just a thing to him, just a toy to play with.
Sophia winces and closes her mouth as she says this. There's a glint of bright yellow deep in her eyes.
I ran to my parents. I told them all about the men I had to serve, and they went and alerted the Audens. They don't want to be the target of their ire, but you aren't going to tip them off, are you?
The barking and shouting are getting closer. Sophia's voice grows quiet. She runs off to the darkest corner of the house before you can answer. One of Otten's servants is close to you, and you can hear his cloak swishing against the ground. He notices something and calls for the others. There are more voices around you now. They approach the house from the yard and surround it. One of them seems particularly snappy, annoyed, and impatient. You've already heard this voice today.
If you're in there, girl, you'd be wise to come out and quit wasting my time. All will be forgiven and you will go back to where you were. You know it. And if you don't, I will drag you out by the hair.
The hilt of the young Arcanian sword. Ooh, there are only 2 things that you can do. Alright, the hilt of the young Arcanian sword bashes against the door. He is about to lose his patience for good. Sophia hugs the wall in the dark. Trying to stay still, she glances at you. What are you going to do? You hear your heart is racing. Can you act against the Arcanian's orders? Do you have the gall to defy the mighty nobleman? Alright, there are 2 things you can do. You cannot help Sophia flee, because you do not have the ingenuity to do so. You cannot bring Sophia back to Auden because you helped save her the first time. You can either try to stop Auden or hide alone. Which shall you choose? Stop him or hide alone? And the text underneath says you will protect your friend even if you have to defy the young Arcanian, or you hide alone. Things have become too dangerous. You are about to influence. You are not about to influence the fate of Sophia. Which one? Which one, indeed? Yeah, stressful, isn't it? I have done a few things. I think I helped Sophia flee. Yes, staying hidden means that you become a bystander as she is taken. Yeah, if you want any clarity, I'll give you clarity as much as will not create spoilers for the story. But yes, if you hide alone, you will be a bystander. All right, Josh says, so I'd say we try to stop him and at least gain reputation with her. Okay. All right, so Josh sees some value in protecting Sophia, and Anne of Narnia agrees. So you guys are going to stop Auden. All right, here we go. You pull yourself together and walk slowly to the half-collapsed doorway. Sophia stays behind. The tall young Arcanian stares you down, his condescending smile dripping with scorn. In your most assertive voice, you answer his question. You will find no fugitive girl in this house.
What are you doing here, boy? I wasn't speaking to you. Out of my way.
Otten needs no permission to enter, so he steps inside. You stand in his way. Whew. You have already assured the young Archnean there is no one else inside. You have done him a great service. What makes him doubt your words?
Why, you lowlife! How dare you stand in an Archnean's way?
You must have lives to spare. Otten backhands you with immense strength, enough to send you flying. The Archnean draws his sword, it rises to the air. But then one of the men shouts, "Sir, there he is!" The Archnean turns around and briskly walks away. Yeah, I love how snarky we're being with him. Sophia used your distraction to climb out the window in the back. You jump to your feet and escape the house in the same way. Sophia's slight silhouette is gaining distance far ahead. One of Otten's men is chasing her down, ready to catch her at any moment. But then, something unbelievable happens. Sophia lets out a dreadful scream, and the air around her sizzling with glowing sparks. Otten's man falls to the ground, clutching his head. Sophia freezes for a second, as though uncertain of what she just did. What was that? Otten screams at her right next to you.
So this is how it is, eh? The wench is a witch! Caesar!
Magic? Sophia, a witch? Sophia's silhouette disappears down an alleyway. Otten's men give her a chase, but they will never find her in the dark, sprawling district. You watch her go. Will you ever see her again? The runaway girl becomes the talk of your district for an entire week. You overhear that Sophia managed to flee the city. The Ottens are furious. After this sudden appearance, she disappears from your life once more. You will not see her again until much, much later. You have gained sympathy with her, and she is now trusting of you. Very good job. All right. Moving on. We're getting close to the end. I think we'll be able to close out this chapter. Which, by the way, for the demo of this can be played for free. It covers all of childhood and adolescence. So we're not quite out of demo territory yet. The next episode, we will be out of demo territory. All right, the Summer, the Blood-Stained Sermon. You're about to turn 15, just one step away from adulthood. Mother's acting anxious about dinner today, barely touching her food. You exchange glances with Gloria. She carefully tells you she wants to go to the tailor. Mother shudders, her hands clenched into fists. No! Don't you dare leave home today! I forbid it! That dirty heretic Fotis is preaching his lies under the silver tree today. Twins willing, I don't want you to hear any of that. You and Gloria glance at each other again. Fotis? He's a patriarch, the head of the clergy. Throughout the entire province, that's the first time that you've heard Mother speak like this about a priest, especially such a high-ranking one. Once you leave the dinner table, Gloria comes to your room with a cunning expression on her face. Like she's about to play a trick on someone. She has a plan. The two of you should sneak out of the house and go to the silver tree. You simply must hear that sermon for yourself. What's so bad about Patriarch Fotis? Why does Mother hate him so much? You two are grown-ups now. Surely you have the right to know. You agree with your sister. Together you sneak out from under your mother's watchful eye and hurry to the silver tree. The temple block is full of people from all ranks and estates. There's barely enough room to squeeze through the crowd. I love this story. Can I just say it, y'all? I've played through this game at least 5 times now, and I still love it. It's just so well crafted. The crowd is gathered around the very roots of the tree. Gloria suggests that you climb up the roof of a nearby building so you can hear and see everything better. And not a moment too soon. From the roof, you see a tall, silver-haired priest step onto the platform by the tree, dressed in the common black robe that looks far beneath his rank. Yet he stands like a noble before the crowd. Behind his back, a banner flapping in the wind, the open book, the symbol of the new faith. The crowd whispers. Patriarch holds up his hands to the sky, and the Empire Temple block grows quiet. He begins his sermon, his vibrant voice rolling across the square. Fotis speaks of a great mistake. We entrusted ourselves to the lots as the only way to fulfill the divine providence in this world. But for all of these years, the will of the twins has been interpreted for us by a single man, Prophetess Satius. The twins are ever watching from atop the shining pillar, Of this we have no doubt. But how can we so blindly believe that we truly follow their will by following the lots? Have we not seen the 3 lots of Isatias fail again and again to answer the question of how we ought to live our lives? Have we not seen people change their lot in life again and again without being smitten by his divine wrath? Every person born, whether human or Archnean, lowborn or noble, must find their lot and their way back to the gods on their own. From now on, we will seek the gods on the accounts of their own lives, their own acts in this world, and their own words as they echo within us. And as we have heard the voice of the twins within, we will each find their path for us on our own. The crowd at the Silver Tree listens to the patriarch's speech in stunned silence. You glance at your sister. Her eyes glisten with tears as she hears Fotis's words. It's for her, yeah, that would be so comforting to hear that there is a high-ranking leader who believes that you are not worthless. Then suddenly, a hoarse cry rises from the crowd. If there are no lots, does that mean the nobles are gonna fill the field till the fields the commoners are gonna bear arms? Crowd begins to murmur. Patriarch raises his arm and inhales, ready to answer. An odd figure leaps from the crowd onto the platform. A dirty beggar dressed in rags, a knife flashes in his hand. The blade slices, blood starts spurting from Fotis's throat. He slumps over and collapses. A dark brown puddle spreads across the platform where he had stood. Gloria clutches her mouth to suppress a shriek. A few moments of stunned silence, and the screams begin. The people are frantic. The temple guards try to restore order in the crowd, but to no avail. An old woman dressed in an inquisitor's cassock tries in vain to apply pressure to the patriarch's wounds. The nobles draw their swords. The dogs are barking. The crowd is pushing and shoving. Children are crying. The entire square by the tree is in chaos. From the roof, you see the moment when people start trampling each other, howling, praying, shouting. Gloria tugs on your sleeve. It's time to go. You climb down from the roof and run. You return home without exchanging a word. Mother's been in her room all the while, so no one noticed your absence. Gloria locks herself in her room. You do not discuss the things you have just seen. They are too frightening. But your parents discuss, every little detail of the blood-stained sermon over dinner. This is unbelievable. A patriarch murdered in plain sight. The Gerbagerbs, because I've never learned how to pronounce that word, and it is my thing on this platform that I will never learn how to pronounce this word. You can put it in the chat if you want, but I'm not going to learn it. I refuse. I remain in my ignorant state, inserting whatever pronunciation I desire. Now that I've thoroughly screamed at you guys for absolutely no reason, the Gerbagerbs and the Archduke's guards have searched every corner of the slums, and the murderous beggar has disappeared without a trace. I can't even imagine a more gruesome crime. Fotis has died a true death, never to return from the hereafter.
But how? Why can't Patriarch be reborn? He's so close to the twins. The other day I ate something and I was really close to the twins that day.
Such is the way of the world, my children. Once you are granted great power by the twins' will, there is no hope for you to come back. Not even after the first of your deaths. Emperors, powerful vassals, heads of the Archanean dynasties. Patriarchs of the church, none of them are destined to be reborn. That's something I forgot. I forgot about that. Fotis is gone forever. Would you say Jerndardeems? Jerndardeems. Okay, we'll remember that. I'll remember it, Josh. Jerndardeems. I fear for his soul. It was lost in doubt. Will the twins accept him upon the peak of the pillar? We must pray for the patriarch, children. Let us hope he managed to return to the true old faith before the moment of his passing. Well, there's little hope for that. Alright, things that we can't control that are changing. The old faith is starting to lose some power, and the new faith is starting to gain some traction. And there is some discontent in the Empire. The last night, tomorrow you turn 16. According to the Imperial law, you will be a full adult. Oh, I don't have to say it right? Okay, gotcha. Okay. So I gotta find a new way to frustrate you now. Okay, gotcha. No, Atomic. Atomic tries to get in Goose's kennel all the time, but he doesn't fit. 1 second, hang on. Scoot your head. You don't need to be in there. Dude's paws will slip straight through the kennel. Dude just it doesn't under. Oh, hello. Hey, Tom. I got ya, buddy. Hello, baby. Oh, hello. Alright, tomorrow you turn 16. According to Imperial law, you will be a full adult. Your time at Sir Tibor's school has ended. You have studied enough to apply for the Imperial College and learn the judge's trade there. You are to travel to Eterna tomorrow. Your friend Tomas will be there with you to try his luck in the Imperial capital. Mother and father prepare you for the long journey. Yeah, Atomic. Did you guys get to see Atomic? He's such a good boy.
Remember, son, there is only one goal for you. You must become a student at the Imperial College. Your teachers dragged you through all those books for a reason. You have the knowledge and fervor to be ennobled by mantle as I wanted. Or as I was, and as my late father was before me. And who knows, maybe one day you will be able to write the name Brante in the Blue Book and ensure that your children's children will be noble by birth.
You saw his snoop for a moment? I'll bring it back up. Wait, you tell me. He's a good boy. Love you, Bubby.
Alright. Where was I? And who? Maybe one day, Blue Book, and ensure that your children's children will be ennobled by birth. The mother speaks to you carefully. There is worry in her eyes.
But Robert, there may be another path for our son. Stefan, your firstborn, was born a noble. He will surely earn the title for the entire Brante family. Your second son bears the favor of the twins. For him, the path of a priest is a worthy calling, no less than a nobleman's sword. Dude, you are putting your paws in a dangerous place. And you, Goose, are a total idiot.
You smile at them both, trying to placitate them. Gloria laughs quietly behind their backs.
Just don't become a snort like Stefan. Ugh. You'll do just fine.
Mother chides Gloria for that. You wink at your sister. Nathan has been downcast all evening. He's barely touched his dinner. When everyone gets up from the table, he suddenly rushes over to embrace you.
Please don't go, other ones. Can't you stay? I don't know what I'm going to do without you. Also, it doesn't help that I've been stuffing all of my fun time substances under your bed, and if you leave, they're gonna check under your bed, and I'll lose all of my fun time substances.
You tussle his hair in response. There's no way you could stay now, you say. But when you come home, and you will come home, you'll tell him all the stories and bring him a special present from Eterna. That is it. All your lessons have been learned. All of your things have been packed for the road. You will leave the family home tomorrow. Tonight you walk through the rooms one last time. The sitting room where Mother used to read your fairy tales. The library where Gloria used to spend all of her time. Father's study, where you entered only on special occasions. The backyard where you taught Nathan to build towers one summer. The whole place feels so similar. Oh. Get to that in a moment. Will you ever return? It's getting late, so everybody's already in their rooms, but you hesitate. Father, Mother, Gloria, Nathan, it will be a long time before you see them again. Who will you spend your last few hours at home with? Why couldn't you do Nathan or Gloria? Oh, because you don't have as much positive relationship with Gloria as you need. You are literally one off from being able to spend time with Gloria. You are one off from being able to spend time with Mother. But Robert is grateful for you, so you can either choose to spend time with Father or time with Nathan. And
I have a very full bladder, so I'm going to let you guys pick which one you want. And I will be back shortly. Discuss amongst yourselves. Oh, that didn't feel good on a very full bladder. Go settle. All right. Go settle. All right, so we have our decision. Spending time with Daddy-O it is. Goosey Goober. Here, I'll let you guys see him for a moment while I read. Come here, Goose. Ah, hello. You find Father in his study reading a book. He has been like this as long as you can remember. Always at his massive desk, surrounded by books and papers and letters, reading or writing. You enter the study, Father looks up from his book and gives you an inquisitive glance. Here's your boy, here's your boy. Thank you. Here's your Tom. An inquisitive glance. You want to spend the night with him before you leave. Hello. Hello. Hi, Tom. There you go. They have squeezed themselves in here. There we go. Alright. Spend some time with him. Father smirks at that as though he is plotting something. Have a seat, son. He reaches into the drawer and produces a decanter filled with rich golden liquid. Whoa! Whoa now, Robert. Barley whiskey, a nobleman's drink. I think it would be good for you to try it. Roll a Constitution saving throw. A 1. You immediately pass out drunk. Alright, Father pulls out 2 glasses and pours a little of the liquid into each of them. You take your glasses and bring it to your mouth. The whiskey stings your lips and palate. Father clearly savors the drink. Okay, that's good. Yeah, you can stay there. Good boys. Father tells you a long story about his studies in the Imperial College. He had to study, he had to study amongst the richest nobles from all corners of the land. He was but a commoner back then, and he had his fair share of hardships. When you ask him about living in the capital, he says it was difficult, dangerous, and full of temptation. I've not seen this one yet. I've spent time with Nathan, Gloria, and Lydia, but I have not done this with Father yet. You'll have your share of time in high society as well. Goose, you idiot. Thank you. Go settle somewhere. Oh, it's a mistake beckoning them over here. I hope that the company of nobles won't lead you astray, son. You didn't go to a boarding school like your elder brother, but I believe a good education and a good family still stand for something. Now, what else can I tell you before you leave? Father recalls the balls held in the capital when he was a youth. Let's not talk about your sexual explorations there, Robert. He even stands, I shouldn't have done that. Ah, heck, whatever, it's my channel. He even stands up from the desk and shows you a couple of moves. Whoa! Whoa! That got really perverted really quickly. Their dancing was incredibly modest. All bows and sidesteps, no touching between the dance partners. Well, that improves it a little bit. But then again, he chuckles, were the days when a fair lady could steal your heart with a single glance. You nod. If anything, you know that feeling by now. After he mentions dancing, he starts speaking of something he has never mentioned to you before. Stefan's late mother and his first wife. Yes, that's right, because, like, in all of the storylines that I've played, we've never heard about her. Amelia Elborn. You listen to his every word, surprised by this show of trust. Oh, Amelia Elborn was noble bird of prey of Anazote, and all the ballrooms were her hunting ground. Everyone thought they could tame her. Her grandfather saw her just once, and then he was off to Baron Elborn to negotiate the marriage. I was impressed by her, and I was so proud of myself, and yet I expected Amelia to be reborn after childbirth, but it did not happen. Wow. And when I recall it now, after so many years, I see that the gods arranged it this way. Otherwise, I would have never started a family with your mother. Oops. How much I had to suffer from marrying Lydia. She alone is the true heart of our family. Wow, he has so much respect for her. That's so sweet. The sun is about to rise. You should rest before taking the long trip. Before he leaves for his bedroom, Father embraces you tightly. I'm so proud that you're an adult now, son. You're capable of achieving so much. Always remember that. Yeah, hey, there we go. You get into bed, your head spinning slightly. This midnight talk with Father, was it about your future or his past? Yeah, regardless, it will remain in your memory for years to come. And a +2 to nobility! Heck yeah! Nice! Departure from home. You will leave the family home for a long time. Your future awaits you in Eterna, the capital of the Empire. Alright, we're going to play a little bit of adulthood. The end of adolescence. Last night was your final night at home. Is it youth or adolescence? Whichever one it is. Youth, that's what it is. The carriage is now waiting at the gate, ready to take you to the capital. The clip-clopping of the idle hooves against the cobblestones count the seconds before your departure. You take one more look at your parents' house and recall your childhood spent there, in the nearby yards at your school and on the winding streets of Anazote. You clashed with the greater world around you, and you survived. You felt the tingle of emotion for the first time. You were taught by the school of the streets. You explored the city of your birth. Learned something of its past. You witnessed firsthand the events that will be remembered by history for all time. All of this is yours now, forever. You saw death, lesser death, followed by rebirth. True death takes and never gives back. You saw death lying in wait to strike the unaware, like a beast stalking its prey. You saw grandfather's agony grimace lit by the flickering fire of the lamp, the Archduke's cavalry trampling those who stood in their way, and your older brother's blood-tide sword slicing through the air. Death has followed you from a very young age. And yet you live on. You have a friend who's been by your side all these years. Tomas taught you many things, how to take a hit, how to keep your word, and how to remain true to your own self. And now Tomas is walking to the same carriage as you are, with a heavy bag slung over his shoulder. Your friend will remain your companion for the time being. Ahead of you is a long trip towards the capital and adulthood. For the first time, you will be away from your family and home. What awaits you in the future? Well, nicely done, ladies and gentlemen. That's a good little closeout. And so we're not very smart. Not very smart. We're not slow, but we're not very smart yet. But nobility is doing great. You are considered noble in the eyes of people, and you are considered soulful. Very good indeed. You've got plenty of willpower, and you've only died once. A good closing. to this chapter. And we are now out of the realm of the, of the demo.
Leaving my hometown behind, I set out for the capital of the Empire. There, I would discover my role in society.
All right, here we go. Chapter 3, Youth. It's considered adulthood years, but that's the way that they chose to split it. The driver flicks the reins. The carriage slowly sways as it starts moving away from your home. You stick your head out the window and wave goodbye to your family. Nathan is running after the carriage with Tomas's younger brother in tow, tears glistening from their eyes. Hurts to leave your home behind. Ahead lies Eterna, the imperial capital. You've often read about it and heard some stories from Father and Stefan. It's a city that surpasses Anazote enormously, in terms of size, age, wealth, and beauty. But what is it really like? What kind of life awaits you there? What will you learn, and where will your actions take you? You pass on the old walls of Anazote. Somewhere within them is the old fortress you and Tomas built together out of old wooden planks, now left to the care of your younger brothers. You two are adults now. Perhaps your fortress will crumble, now abandoned, or perhaps your brothers will continue what you started. Who knows? Atomic, you need to move. This dude, he just needs to move. Come on, move. Come on. Yeah, you need to go. Yeah, go settle. Go settle somewhere. Go on, go settle. Good boys. Go settle. Alright. Here we go. You look down at your hands, knuckles covered in scars. I'm just going to kind of blow through some of this, because there's not a lot of important information here. It's mostly just recap stuff. Ahead of you lie many years in the capital, years that will determine your fate and your place in society. Alright, so your perception and your nobility are going to go together and form diplomacy. Your proficiency in the laws of the Empire, as well as your connections and influence among the ruling elite in high society. It affects your ability to negotiate with people of importance. So right now you're considered unknown, and we're still building these. But you need to at least be in that first category of promising in order to use said actions. Alright, so we got that. Perception and ingenuity equal manipulation. You got a ways to go on your manipulation before it's useful. Perception plus spirituality gives you theology, and you're almost to a usable point. You've got one more, and then you can use it. Determination and nobility equal your valor. You are currently considered weak in battle, but one more will give you a mediocre fighter. Determination, ingenuity, scheming. Scheming makes your talent for inciting riots, organizing ambushes, and plotting murders, assaults, and sabotage. Alright, so you've got a little bit more to gain before you can do something with that. Your eloquence, resolute and soulful, or your determination, spirituality, gives you eloquence. You are almost to the point that you can use that. And that gives you your new traits. Atomic is just like a poor little lost child. Put that there. Alright, so these are the paths that you can choose in this chapter. True death is now permanently on the table. There are many options that you can take, where the only option is to end the game immediately. You can take the path of the lotless. You remain in the common estate with no choice but to fend for yourself and make your own way in the world. Path of the priest, you enroll in the seminary, hoping to become a priest and assume the lot of the clergy. Or the path of the nobleman. Like your father and grandfather, you enroll in the Imperial College, hoping to become a judge and a nobleman of mantle. Those are your choices. And these are other little things that you can do along the way. We're not going to review those entirely. I'm going to leave those up for surprise. But then here are your traits again. And let's begin. We're not going to go too terribly much longer. We're just going to get a little bit into the youth years. Arrival in the capital. It takes a whole month to reach Eterna. You and Tomas spend the days wagging your chins and staring at the scenery, and your carriage makes its way along the road towards the next province. Soon it crosses from the familiar barren, arid lands of Magra to the stately mountains of Elira. Elira! During one of your many stays at a roadside inn, the two of you even manage to share a whole bottle of strong wine to keep it a secret from the servant who drives the carriage. Adult life feels pretty intoxicating. Oh, stupid puns. Soon, I tell you we'll be there, and I'll earn my sword as soon as I get accepted into the military academy, you'll see. And nobody's gonna walk all over me like I'm some commoner. Keep rehearsing everything they taught you in school. Soon you're almost to the end of your long journey. You have left behind the arid rocks of Magra, the mountains of Elira, and the flooded meadows of Arcania. Eterna, the capital, is right at hand. Situated at the junction between Reglata and Tyrolean rivers that we don't hear of beyond this one sentence, the city is vast. 3 majestic stone bridges keep its 3 shores interconnected. Smooth stone paves the main city streets. Gilded moldings decorate the buildings. Towering pillars reach high into the sky. Your carriage takes you past a spacious park where the marble fountains are intricately trimmed bushes. On the streets, you see ornately decorated carriages bearing Arcanian coats of arms and abundant merchant tents filling the streets with beckoning cries and unusual sights. The spires of ancient temples dot the city skyline. The carriage comes to a halt on the large city square with a towering marble fountain. The coachman says you've arrived. Tomas is to apply for a military academy. The academy barracks are 2 streets away. Your lodging house is in the alleyway nearby. A room has already been reserved for you. You get out onto the street and say brief goodbyes to each other. You promise to meet each other again after the entrance exams. Then your friend disappears into the crowded streets of the capital. You are left to your own devices in this vast city. First choice coming up. A group of nobles walks past. They are dressed in well-fitted clothing decorated with gems and golden thread. You are not even noticed. Street urchins chasing a dog down the alleyways. Soldiers of the Imperial Legion are marching to the fifes and drums towards the barracks. Humble pilgrims are gathering to the great temple of the twins. There are the sounds of music and fountains and the smells of baked bread and garbage drains. You quickly check in at the lodging house, then go back outside. The sun is setting. Street lights come to life. Merry music fills the taverns. Couples and noble coaches with tinted windows fill the streets. Shadows and hushed voices and laughter fill the parks. You are all alone in this city and unfamiliar. You take a look around, determined to fill your first night in the capital with memories. See young nobles gathered by the fountain, talking and making jokes excitedly. One of them keeps glancing at the clock tower. They are about your age. Their clothes are hand-tailored, and 2 of them bear noble swords. Oh, I missed something. They seem to be waiting for something. Be a good idea to make their acquaintance. It would be most helpful to develop a familiarity with the influential nobles at the capital. Loud music comes from an establishment on the corner, distracts you for a moment. The servants have just opened the shutters to air out the hall. It seems there will be a gathering inside, people from various estates to greet each other as they take their seats. A servant by the door of the establishment hails you. Sir Gert Arkwright, that sounds like a name I would make up, will be making a speech about the rights of the common estate. If you want to listen, you better get inside quickly. Then you look to the great temple of the twins at the far end of the street. The pillar shines in the evening dusk above it. The temple gates are open, and the worshippers are flocking inside. There are too many people for an ordinary service. This must be something important. What do they preach about here in the capital? What do they say of the new faith and the teachings of the Patriarch Photis? Snap out of your reverie when you hear a loud laughter. Man, it is blaring loud in my ears. I'm gonna have to adjust that. A group of young men dressed in colors of Imperial College have made the acquaintance of several lovely ladies. They are making their way down the road, united by merriment. One of the girls smiles at you. It's an invitation to join them. They turn the corner and walk away, but you can still hear their voices ringing and echoing through the street. A night of revelry and jolly. Loud fun doesn't sound half bad. This is your first night in Eterna. and you can do anything you want to. No matter what you choose, you will be remembered for it for a long time to come. So, you can either hang out with the nobles, listen to Arkwright's speech, you can visit the temple, or you can run after the students. So we are, let me put this here, nobles, nobles, speech, temple, or fun, party, fun. There you go. All right, so here's your choice, ladies and gentlemen. You can either hang out with the nobles, see what the young noble peoples are doing. You can go hear the speech about the rights of commoners. You can go visit the temple, or you can do fun, party, fun. Your choice. All options are on the table. Are there any questions about these? Meeting the noble youths as you forge a bond with a group of young nobles? Listening to Arkwright's speech? Ooh, Josh is thinking about gaining diplomacy would be good. So, Josh votes to meet the nobles. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. And especially since, let's see, what else does it affect? I don't remember. I don't have visible effects on. There is an option where you can turn that on, but I turned that off because I want you guys to be as surprised as I was when I made these decisions. So yeah, you're almost to the point of diplomacy. You have an 8 and you need a 10. So that could help. There's a... It would probably also increase your valor. So it could increase diplomacy and valor. I'm not sure which, if either, but that's potentially what it could do. All right, so any other votes? Anybody else? Going once? Going twice? Josh, if you are set on this, then I will lock it in. Doesn't seem like anybody's going to disagree with you, though. Anne of Narnia in a moment of honesty. Ooh, I'm not good with choices. Alright, so yeah, Josh's logic so far is he's really close. I mean, you guys are really, really close to unlocking the next level of diplomacy and valor. But you're also very close to your theology and your eloquence. So, anything else? Give you 5 more seconds, and then I'll lock in meet the noble youth. Not meet, yeah, the noble youths. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. We're going to lock in. You forge a bond with a group of young nobles. Here we go. Oh, let me end that poll. There we go. You approach the young nobles and introduce yourself tactfully. Your father, a judge, has sent you here to study, you explain. Would they mind showing you around the capital? The nobles eye you with uncertainty and whisper to each other. You prepare to face their rejection, but to your surprise, they agree. When the clock tower strikes 8, your new acquaintances proceed to a rich house not too far away. Oh, oops, I missed it. I'm talking, people. Candlelight fills the halls before you, reflected in the abundant mirrors and gilded picture frames. Manservants bring drinks and refreshments to every guest. There are the sounds of music and laughter and small talk. Here and there you see couples dancing to the music. It appears you have made it to a small noble party. The nobles are gathered in groups. You take time to introduce yourself to each of them and join in the small talk. Some discuss their studies at the college, while others relay fresh gossip. Haha, gossip girls. Have you heard of the Melendi's carriage was seen in the city the other day? Ooh, it seems to recalled to me that somebody, maybe with blue skin, remembers you. Get all the get all the tea. You mentioned how you once encountered Octavia. Hey, there we go. You mentioned how you once encountered Octavia Melendez, daughter, and the heiress to the Archduke of Magra at the square in Anazote. These words draw a small crowd. The Melendez dynasty rarely, if ever, visits Eterna. They say it is the only house that can stand its ground against the Imperial Tempest dynasty. One young man even allows himself a little joke. They say the great Arcanian houses turn to a Melendez only when the Tempest needs to be refused. After all, only Melendez dynasty still knows how to say no. But there is more. It turns out all humans owe the Melendez dynasty for their foray into nobility. Char Melendez was the only Arcanian who opened the first college, and its graduates were the first to be ennobled by mantle. To feed and nourish the barren land of the Dukes of Magra took to industry and being adopting innovative industrial and social practices. The dynasty's motto is remembrance and majesty, but strife and change would suit them better. Then the nobles start discussing the other great Arcanian dynasties. The Tempest dynasty is the first of the first, naturally, marked by the twins anointed to rule. All Tempests are known for their sincerity, often bordering on a volatile temper. Yet it's this very passion that has led them through history. The Tempests have been chosen by the gods to rule the empire. The Diamant dynasty are the main supporters of the emperor's family, honor personified. The Diamonds preside at the Arcanian courts of honor that remain throughout the empire in spite of the public taboo. These courts hold more sway over the laws and lives of the nobility than the imperial edicts or prefectural authorities. Some mention Patriarch Junius Diamant, the black sheep of his own dynasty. He preaches the new faith that rejects the lots and stirs the minds of the common folk. Ugh, how dare. The Orgriff dynasty is another noble bloodline favored by the emperor. They zealously advocate for the twins' faith and see the empire as a union between heaven and earth. Every year, the Orgriffs donate enough funds to build new temples across the empire. The Monroe dynasty, there's so much, is an ancient and controversial name. Monroes often speak in favor of removing humans from nobility, restoring nobility as solely Arcanian privilege, and returning all human-manned offices to the empire to Arcanians. Many gossipers accuse the Monroes of plotting against the rule of the Tempest to bring back the old Arcanian Republic and the joint rule of the Arcanian dynasties as it existed long before the emperors first came to be. The discussion of courtly affairs and noble dynasties soon gives way to cultured entertainment. Expensive wine flows like water, and you too ask a couple noble ladies to dance and show your skill. You return to your lodging room in the small hours of the night. A good thing that your dad showed you his moves. Oh, that didn't feel good. You return to your lodging room in the small hours of the night with just enough strength to undress before your aching head and feet make you collapse. For the first time. Good, nice. All right, so it did not take up your nobility, but it did bring up your diplomacy. For the first time in your life, you have mingled with a noble crowd on your own without your family's aid. Very good indeed. Excuse me. All right. We're going to do one more section, and then we're going to call it quits. Luke's sermon. After the Luke's sermon section, we're going to call it for the day. You have spent the last 3 days studying books, but today you decide to take a walk through the streets of Eterna. They're full of life as usual. You proceed to the square, next to the lodging house. A procession of priests walks through the square. You notice that one of them holds a banner of the new faith, an open book, the same banner that was behind Patriarch Fotis on the day of his assassination. A crowd immediately gathers around them. People are looking at an icon painting on a small pedestal depicting a gray-haired man with glowing green eyes. You recognize the face of the late Patriarch Fotis. A man with a thick beard, appears by the icon painting. His broad shoulders bear a white gold cloak with a coat of arms, a capital province embroidered on it. He is Luke, Patriarch of Archnia. Cast a stern gaze over the crowd.
I speak to all who live in the sight of the Shining Pillar. Exactly 1 year ago we lost Photis, Patriarch of the Madgra Province, mentor of the New Faith. Patriarch Photis was the first to see the books of Issatias for nothing but the words of a man, not the words of the twins themselves. He was the first to tell people the path to God lies in their own hearts instead of blindly following the lots. To seek answers in the lives of the twins in their own hearts rather than the words of the priests. Through Patriarch Photis, we were able to see the truth. Through his death, we saw his words are not heresy, they are the truth that used to be obscured by Issatias' lies. And now I bring good news. Patriarch Junius Diamond has seen to it that our teacher will be canonized as a saint. Yes, Junius Diamond, an Archnian from a great dynasty and the Patriarch of Astinia, has joined himself to the new faith. And through this, we hope that the entire empire will soon see that our doctrine is the truth. We are free from the shackles of the lots. We are equal before the twins. With each day, more and more people hearken to the truth, and one day, the entire empire will heed our call. So let us pray, my brothers. The believers around you bow their heads in prayer and thank the twins. Not for the lot they were given, as they usually would, but for the chance to choose their own path. Patriarch's sermon is inspiring. It compels your hands to meet in a sign of prayer, compels your lips to repeat the words of the new faith. Patriarch Luke's sermon forms a cadence, and now your heart beats in time with it. You recall the murder of Patriarch Photis a year ago. Seems more patriarchs share in his doctrine now. The news of Junius Diamond joining the new faith is stunning. If an Archnian from a great dynasty has sided with Photis' doctrine and agreed that everyone is equals under the twins, the new faith must truly be putting down roots. But suddenly, several figures appear before the podium. Figures clad in black with glinting silver on their sides. Inquisitors. They push through the crowd to form a circle around Patriarch Luke. One of the priests rises before the crowd, his clean-shaven, tall, with chiseled features. Everyone falls silent at the sight of him. The Inquisitor speaks with a booming voice that can be heard by all. I am Father Ulrich, the name of the twins, and by my right as an Inquisitor, I order you to turn around and leave. The words you are hearing are full of lies. Patriarch Luke has set out to poison your hearts and minds, and the Inquisition will not allow this heresy to spread. The only true path of life is the will of the twins. Life offers us no other choice. You are hereby ordered to disperse at once. Most of the people leave the square immediately. Few want to get involved with the Inquisition. Some people stay, however. And some even shout angrily, we want to listen to Luke. He is the Patriarch of Archnia, and he has more to say. Get away from our sermon, old believers. We will not listen to you and your hoary old lies about the lots. Inquisitors, bring those who may yet listen to their lots, and leave the others to the champions of the faith. Black-clad Inquisitors descend from the podium, approaching the people who chose to stay. With nothing but their words, they make people stop shouting and listen. The uproar ceases quickly. They have dissected the crowd, split it in smaller groups surrounding each Inquisitor. One of the Inquisitors chooses to approach you. He's a humble-looking man, of age with a rough haircut. He looks at you straight in the eyes, and his lively, soulful voice forces you to listen to his words despite yourself. My name is Father Jeremiah. I know your thoughts were stirred by the Patriarch's words. You're not sure whom to trust. But I teach at the seminary. I have been studying the teachings of the twins my entire life. You can trust me.
I know you can hear what I have to say. I see their light in your eyes, the light of the true faith. Will you listen to my counsel, son? All right, choice coming up. You feel no malice towards the Inquisitor Jeremiah, only hope. It is his lot to aid you, to guide you away from the error, and to set you on the path of the true faith. He's a priest, so he should know the truth, or perhaps the Inquisitor himself is in the wrong. So, which shall you do? Shall you listen? Shall you, listen, debate him, or resist? You can listen. You can debate, or you can resist. So, the difference between listening or debating and resisting is resisting, you're not even going to offer the chance to be persuaded. Debating, you are having a back and forth discussion type of thing. Like this, you refuse to be ordered around by him. It is not the clergy's place to give orders. Atomic is just chilling here. Debating, you argue against the Inquisitor and in favor of the new faith. Or you can accept the Inquisitor's counsel and just let him guide you. So, which shall it be, my friends? Which shall it be? And I believe this is the only choice of this section. And with this, we'll close it. Ooh, we have a vote to debate. One vote to debate. All right. Anybody disagree? Anybody want to join in on that? Are we going to debate? I just have Anne of Narnia's get all the tea just sitting here in the chat, and it's just hilarious. Anybody else want to jump in? Josh says, I think debating gives the most chance at autonomy, could raise manipulation or diplomacy. Good thoughts, good thoughts. Might also raise eloquence as well. And if you raise up to a little bit more eloquence, you could do something. Okay. Alright, so Josh is starting to think very strategically about this, about wanting to be capable to do things later on. Alright, we have 2 votes for debate. There's only 4 people right now, so I'm going to assume nobody else has voted that the choice is going to be to debate. You start debating the Inquisitor, mustering all of your knowledge and awareness of the new faith. The lots are an error introduced by Isatias. They are incorrect, obsolete, contrary to the way of life in the modern empire. Please hear me out, my son. In these difficult times, people of your estate are the ones most tormented by doubt. Your lot is suffering. But not all of you are ready to suffer. Some turn to guile and cunning to avoid it, and they end up in eternity's embrace at the foot of the pillar. Please understand, your lot requires humility. Suffering is inevitable, and so is doubt. Each of them may temper your soul, yet each may also destroy it. But know this. If you have doubts, you are always welcome at my temple. No priest will turn you away in a moment of weakness. That is why we exist. To fortify faith in the hearts of all people. To bring the word of the twins to those who have gone astray. Know this, the Inquisition does not imprison everyone suspect of heresy. We exist to protect souls, to guide and to save them. We pursue dangerous doctrines and seek to rescue every soul that we meet. Arrest or execution is our very last resort, reserved only for sinners beyond redemption. You can see that I'm merely speaking to you right now. I have not resorted to force, and nor am I giving you any orders. Do not resist this, but rather consider the following. Did the Patriarch speak the truth? You answer that Luke's sermon was far more convincing than Father Jeremiah's words. Everyone blindly heeds the writings of Isatias, who is but one man who decided that he had the right to define the lives of generations to come. Hey, Atomic, don't you be swiping away things on my phone. Silly kid. You know what? You have a device addiction. You need to chill out. But people have the right of free will, you say. They have the right to choose their destiny and to bear the burden of their choice. You got yourself stuck, didn't you? Alright, I'll help get you free in a moment. Father Jeremiah sighs in response. It saddens me to see that you've been led astray so easily. Yet you are young. You should seek and learn the truth on your own. If you truly believe that you can interpret the will of the gods, then perhaps you should become a priest yourself. If you come to the Divine Seminary and prove you deserve the lot of the clergy, you will be accepted. I teach there, and I'm always happy to see students of considerable talent, even if they have been led astray. But for now, you should leave this place. You will learn nothing by facing the champions of faith. With this, Father Jeremiah leaves you and proceeds further. You leave the square freely, your dignity preserved. The remaining people in the square continue arguing with one another with other inquisitors. Armed champions of the faith stand nearby, but they do not intervene. Luke and his retinue can no longer be seen. All right. You will walk back to the lodging house, mulling over Father Jeremiah's words about the seminary. Your family sent you to earn a noble title, but you have an opportunity to become a new priest of the old faith or the new. If you see your destiny in service to the gods, no one has a right to stand in your way. And you have gained some eloquence, which has given you the ability to speak clearly and to use your clarity of speech later on. Very nice. No, scoot back, dogs! You're all sorts of in the way. Alright, we'll read this, and then that'll be it. Patriarch Luke's sermons have convinced many commoners and nobles of the mantle of the new faith. There are now several temples in Eterna that follow the new canons, with Luke's blessing. This has led to no small amount of anger among the followers of the old faith. You can hear Goose in the background squeaking his toy. Two mighty bishops of the Church of the New Faith. One of them is Luke, the Patriarch of Archnia himself, spiritual mentor of the capital province. He preaches all across Archnia, his sermon adding to the new faith's flock. The other leader of the new faith is Patriarch Junius Dynamont, hailing from Great Archnian Dynasty. He is the de facto ruler. He's so distressed. Atomic is so distressed because he got himself stuck. Junius Dynamont rarely preaches, but the people believe the Austinian Patriarch attends to the needs of all who convert to the new faith. The schism within the church is growing. The split has further divided between commoners and the nobles. Though, thankfully, there has been no direct conflict as of yet. But it has become clear that there is no way to stop the steady advance of the new faith. Born from the death of Patriarch Fotis, goes stronger by the day. Alright, some more changes are happening in the world around. More discontent, more schism. New faith doesn't quite have control yet. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where we are going to call it quits. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you to Anne of Narnia and Josh for jumping in and placing your votes and everything. Thank you, Caldi, for joining in as well. I know you weren't able to stay for very long, but I thank you for tuning in. And, yeah, hopefully soon we'll be able to do this again. And it shouldn't be too terribly long. If we keep at this pace, it won't be too terribly long until we get to the end. All right. Good job. You guys didn't disgust me this time. All right, I love you guys. Thank you all other ones, and I will see y'all later. Peace out!